So my husband passed away from an accidental heroin overdose, which is a stigmatized death. And for people that have lost someone to something that is stigmatized, like a overdose or suicide, it can add a multitude of extra layers of complication to your grief. And I certainly felt this. I was broken inside because the person I loved most was all of a sudden gone. And at the same time, I had to cope with all of my feelings that stemmed from his addiction and from his death from a heroin overdose. And I think my heart goes out to anyone who is grieving a stigmatized death, because I feel that out in society, there is an unspoken hierarchy of death. And at the top are deaths where someone bravely fought cancer with their spouse at their side to the last moment. And at the bottom are the people who overdosed and the people who committed suicide. And that does such a disservice to the people left behind who loved those people, because although our partners and our children and our parents died from something that is stigmatized in society, they still died and they still were loved by us. So I've actually found it quite freeing to speak openly about his cause of death and not hide in the shadows and not hide behind my self-internalized shame around his cause of death, and really just talk about it frankly and openly. And that's opened a ton of doors. Being vulnerable and being open has allowed me to connect with other people who have lost spouses in the same way. And just by connecting with people like that right away there chips away at my feelings of isolation and aloneness, and makes me realize I'm not alone, and I'm allowed to feel sad and angry and mad and relieved that he died, but I don't feel the shame of his cause of death. He was a person, and he was a person with a full life, and a person with a life full of people who loved him, and he was also a person with substance use disorder, which ultimately led to his death. I feel that it's important for those of us who have lost people in this way to speak openly about it, as it pulls back that curtain of shame and guilt that we may have, and allows us to focus on our recovery and on our healing. The shame and stigma does nothing except hurt the people left behind. So I think it is really important to speak openly about it and find the people out there that understand and are empathetic and want to support you in whatever way. The more we talk about it openly about our people who have died in this way, the more the shame and stigma will go away. And then hopefully the shame and the guilt will lessen and allow the loved ones left behind to grieve more fully.